the Gerald the Boss Man show. On to the eastern shore of Maryland to Princess Anne up there, UMES, the Hawks. Coach Jason Crafton on the Boss Man show. Coach, how's it going up there, man, on the eastern shore, man?
I'm chilling, man. The sun is out. We got a warm day up here on the Eastern Shore. It's a great day to be a Hawk. I'm chilling here with the boss man. I'm excited to be here. Excited to be the head coach at Maryland Eastern Shore, and excited to be on your radio show. Thanks for having me,
Coach. We double Hawks. I'm an Atlanta Hawk. That's my side gig, and you're a UMBS Hawk. So we all hawked out today,
man,
Coach.
I'm sorry to hear you're an Atlanta Hawk. We got to get you some Maryland Eastern Shore real Hawk gear, and make sure you're representing the right Hawk down there.
I hear that, Coach. Hey, man, what does job mean to you, man? Leading the Eastern Shore Hawks, man. I know you was in the G League with the Sixers there, but now you got your head gig here, coming up in the MEAC conference. How you feeling about that, Coach?
I feel excited about it. You know, a lot of people don't know that 11 years ago, I pursued this job back when they hired Frank Allen, who I'm actually good friends with now, and built a great relationship with him. And when I was an associate head coach at the Naval Academy 11 years ago around this time, I was pursuing trying to be the head coach at Maryland Eastern Shore. And I always had my eyes on this job. So to be able to get it this time around, I'm excited about it. I'm excited about the incredible campus we have, the facilities, the dynamic people that we have on our campus, our administration, our alumni. I'm ready to get to work, man.
Small world, Coach. When I was a young man coming up, I used to go to Coach Allen's camps at Tennessee State University when I was similar time with my mother. That's how I've known Coach Allen for many years. So that's small world. Okay,
nice. Good stuff.
Yeah, man, he's a great dude, man, a great dude, and I that's crazy. You've been on his job for 11 years, man. That's and how it comes around. Now the gig is yours. So now that the gig is yours, man, what are your thoughts about putting your spin on this program? Now you've never been there that long, but now you're trying to put your imprint on it now. So how's that been going so far?
Well, I think I got my keys yesterday. They first gave me some keys last week. It didn't work. So the first win of the week this week was I got keys that work. So we're doing well there.
No doubt.
I can get in the building. I can get in my office. I'm excited to say we just had six recruits up today. So we were running around with those guys and giving them a chance to see campus and explore some things. And I'm really excited about trying to implement these two core words of our program. And one is family. We want to just really, have a brotherhood here with our players. We want to be a family with our alums, our administration, our community, family with even people like you that support us and even sometimes talk bad about us not doing good, but everybody's family. And we want to have that type of culture here. And then we talk a lot about tenacity and having some edge in how we play offensively, how we play defensively. So, that's my main goal right now is to really get the culture right here and based around family and tenacity.
One thing about me, Coach, I don't bash because, with my job with the Hawks, I have to spin everything to make it sound good. So I don't bash. So I've learned how not to bash, make it all sound good. And if you're losing, I make it sound good. Well, he scored 28 points on the second half. So I always make it sound good no matter what it is. So I've learned that skill working with the Hawks.
Yep. I got you. Now, all good. I just saying that sometimes it's your job to be critical and media stuff, and that's all good. It comes with the territory, and I accept everything that comes with the position.
Now, I know you're happy about this. You get to kind of recruit your guys in the sense of getting them to buy into your system. Make to see if they want to be a Eastern Shore Hawk going forward, because that's really key. As a new coach coming in there, you got to make sure the guys buy in and want to really be a part of the program. You don't want any guys who don't really want to be there, making the whole puzzle not fit all the way right because they want to do their own thing, or they're not bought into what you're trying to sell these guys to build this program up the way you want it to be, and then the MEAC conference there.
Yeah, I think, buying and culture is important, like what we talked about. So I think we have, a great opportunity here because, we didn't lose a lot to graduation, but, there were some guys that put themselves in the transfer portal before I even got the job. Which created some room and some room for opportunity. So right now we have 7 returning players on scholarship, and we do have a couple walk-ons that are looking to come back. But 7 scholarship players returning, which creates opportunity. Opportunity to bring 6 players in and to try to make a big splash in terms of bringing the right types of guys in that fit what we want to do. So I think we have good guys coming back, and the type of guys coming back that are going to strive to fit what we're trying to do, and then we're going to bring in guys that are also kind of going to be in that same mindset. So, and then we'll have 3 or 4 seniors next year that are going to graduate. So we're going to have a chance over the next 12 months to basically bring in 10 guys, and so it's going to turn into a new look roster extremely fast.
Now, you're going to try to do the international route, the grad transfer route, the transfer route where a guy sits one and plays how many years he has left, or you don't do the JUCO route or high school senior? 'Cause I know you got 5 ways so you can do it, but what probably do you think works best for you now going forward as you build your program?
Yeah, for me, it's going to be about, we're going to be aggressive in the grad transfer route, but, the thing about the grad transfers is we're going to be honest about the fact that, you can't, everybody's telling guys they can come and get a master's in 1 year. We're going to take the right grad transfers that understand that, most grad programs are going to take 2 years, so we're going to do it the right way in terms of that. We're not just going to sell you on a dream with that. So we're going to be active in that market. We're also going to be active in the prep school market in terms of post-grad kids and guys that have an extra year under their belt. We're going to be active in the JUCO market and looking at, guys that are transfers coming out of junior college. And then we might look at taking the right type of Division I transfers that are guys coming from a higher level that might either sit for a year and then can give us some aggressive, intense bodies in practice and put us in position to get some recruiting done for the following year. So that's the route we're looking at right now. We're aggressive in the prep route. We're aggressive in the JUCO transfer route. We're aggressive in the grad transfer route. And we're looking at the right Division I guys to sit out.
Coming from a G League, so I know that you know all about development. So I want to ask you about player development here this summer, because it's going to be really key. It's been a new coach to kind of evaluate what you have on that roster and help those guys pick up at least one new skill this summer to help you come October when things really get serious. So what's your player development plan this summer going to be for the guys? Will it be a lot of weightlifting, working out, conditioning, on court, a little bit of all that stuff, Coach?
Yeah, I think we're going to put in the total program. And, a lot of people are going to look at what we do and say, oh, it's NBA driven. He got that from the Sixers or the G League I was trained the right way coming from Jay Wright at Villanova, and he taught us how to do things a certain way, and player development and getting guys better has always been an emphasis in terms of what I've done in my entire coaching career. So that's how I was raised in this business. So, I think that skill training every day is going to be important for us. Daily vitamins, we'll call them, things that we've got to do fundamentally in terms of footwork, passing, catching, shooting, defensive fundamentals and vitamins every day in terms of our sliding and the way we close out and our help side and our talking, and then we're going to try to do some things creative and dynamic in the weight room in terms of how we train and implementing some plyometrics and some things, a lot of core training and flexibility. Utilize this great facility we have where we have an Olympic track right outside, right behind our gym, and we've got an Olympic pool right here and the weight rooms right here. So I think we have a chance to do some special things. I also saw we have like a big prairie where like there's a lot of open space around here for some nice, what we call them in the military, motivational PT. Motivational physical training. So anytime something's not going the right way, I think we got a lot of space around here for some motivational PT.
I hear that.
Guys some extra work. So I think, with the training we're going to do and the dynamic of the style of play, we're going to be fast-paced. We're going to push the heck out of the ball. We're going to defend 94 feet. We're going to switch defenses when we can and just try to be a team that makes you uncomfortable.
And non-conference schedule-wise, it's tough for guys coaching the SWAC and the MEAC. You all on the road pretty much the whole non-con season. So beyond those guaranteed games you have to play, you can try to get some guys to come over there to Princess Anne play you guys, or 2-for-1, or home and home. You can get some guys to come out there and play you guys. There are D1 guys out there to play those D2 schools because they don't really help you much RPI-wise.
Yeah, I think we might have probably the strongest strength of schedule in the country next year when I look at what the thing that was laid out for me. I didn't have anything to do with this schedule, but we're going to play some heavy hitters. We got Baylor, we got Stanford, we got Oklahoma, we got Penn State, we got Virginia Tech. It's 5 high majors, and then we've got 5 mids in Fordham, UNC Charlotte, East Carolina, Liberty, and one other. I did a good job. I named most of them. I forget the other one. One more that we got. No. So those are going to be the mid majors, and then we have a couple of low major teams that we're going to play. Not many, but so our schedule is going to be a very intense, tough schedule. And not a lot of non-D1 games on there. Maybe there's one, and then we've got a home and home with Longwood. Outside of that, everybody else is going to be Atlantic 10. ACC, Big Ten. Big East. Games like that. So it's going to be a lot on the road, and we're going to use it as an opportunity to gain some incredible experience against upper-level teams to put us in the best position to compete against our league. So I'm excited about it.
At least those games pay well.
Yeah, so I'm trying to put it in the best way possible. Yeah, so we gotta make some money, keep the lights on. So
yeah, at least they pay well. I just called it IC. At least they pay well.
Yeah. But it's what it is, and I think we're not the only ones that have to go through it. I think some have to play. We probably play a little more than some other schools, but I think that we're up for the challenge, and we're going to use it as an opportunity to just kind of go against elite programs and try to get better. So regardless of the score, we're going to keep coaching every possession and put ourselves in position to one day start to win a few of those games.
I hear
and
that,
that's
Coach.
what we're trying to build. We're trying to build a situation of my best friend Rob Jones is the head coach at Norfolk State.
My guy Rob, that's my dude too.
Yeah, that's my guy. Yeah, he's had a chance to build something special down there, and and sneak some of those games and win some of those. And I look at what Lavelle's done at North Carolina Central, and I think the MEAC is a conference that's still overlooked, and hopefully we can do some things to build this program up so we can be in the same conversation as those schools.
Yes, I know you kind of mentioned Jerry Wright a little bit. I want to also get your thoughts on this coach. Who are some other coaches and guys who really had an impact on you in your career, like Coach Allen and those guys who really help mold you as a coach, help show you the way to be the coach you are today and going to be for this program going forward?
Yeah, I think Billy Lang, who was my head coach at the Naval Academy, we worked together at Villanova, and he was also with the Sixers this past year, one of the top assistants for the Sixers. So we've got a long history of working together side by side in different ways. He just got the head job at St. Joe's University, so he's also a Hawk as well, St. Joe's Hawks. He's been dynamically influential in my career. Obviously, you already mentioned Jay Wright. And then obviously being around Brett Brown this past season, the little bit that I was in training camp and being able to be around a team in the springtime here after the end of our G League season, I was very impressed with just how he managed the team, how he managed their culture, the egos, and just kept everybody in check and just had a servant's heart. So he's a superstar in this business, and I was, just so thankful for the opportunity just to kind of be in his presence. I think when you think about the coaching pedigree I have under Jay Wright, Billy Lang, and Brett Brown, I'm just humbled to be in the conversation with those guys and have learned and some things to be able to implement into what I do.
Now, Coach, how was it to coach my former classmate, Robert Covington at Tennessee State, and we both went to school together? How was it to coach that guy? Because I'm so proud of him, what he's accomplished. I chose the radio route and the football route. He chose the basketball route. I think he made the right call. I made the wrong call. I'm a radio, and he's in the NBA. So, but how was it to coach my guy? That's it.
You know what? I didn't really get a chance to coach him much because when I got there, he was kind of we were there for training camp, kind of watching and kind of helping as we could. But he was just what I noticed about him is he was a vocal guy, leader. Was very in tune with what was going on defensively. And it was very sad to see him go because a lot of guys loved him, not just on the team, but the staff and the city of Philadelphia really embraced him as a blue-collar, hardworking guy. So didn't get a chance to build a deep relationship with him. I know he was a man of faith. I'm a man of faith, and I know that he represented that well, and always wish him the best.
Well, it's crazy, Coach. I was at the Westin in Memphis when the trade went down, when that was in Memphis to play the Grizzlies. I was in Memphis with Rob when the trade came down. I just saw the raw reaction of how it went down. Man, it was just sad to see how they all went down at the same time because I was there to see him play at Memphis, dude. It was like seeing that live and how that happens live, man, it was just heartbreaking for me, seeing how this guy loved him and how they hated to see him go.
No question. And I think, both teams were able to get something that they need. I think at that time you saw Minnesota, just was in a tough spot with Jimmy Butler. And I think it was a great trade for them because they got, good players that were happy to be there. And it was a great trade for us in Philly because, I think Jimmy obviously was a big part of what we did. So we missed Cub and everything, but I think also you saw the dynamic of Jimmy, really serving a big role here and adding some scoring and some defense. And not that Cub didn't, because the Cub was great defensively for us, but I thought a new element of scoring came, and it was pretty cool to see when everybody came together. So, so I think it was a refreshing opportunity for both parties.
I told Elton on March 23rd when the Hawks played the Sixers that y'all got to re-sign my man Mike Scott. He is a sixth man for big that can play the pick and roll, 4-5-3. He can help out. He can start where you need him to. I said, you got to sign my man Mike Scott. Elton has laughed. I know Elton was with the Hawks too. He has laughed there and said, you got to sign my man Mike. He's good for y'all. He's a good third big off the bench for you guys. But sign there, brother. But how was it be around Mike this spring? I know he crazy as hell, but I know he probably tripped you out.
You know what was? He's got an incredible work ethic. He comes out there and gets the shots up daily, extra shots. He's very intentional about working on his game, his craft, and his shooting, and putting that extra time. And so, got nothing but respect for him and what he's done individually to get himself better and what he brought to the organization.
And, Coach, I tell you what, man, I think you're in a great spot at your location on Eastern Shore. You're right near D.C. You get to Virginia, going down to Virginia, get players, and go to Baltimore City and get players. I mean, I love the opportunity you have there, Coach. And I know you saw the same things I'm seeing now about something you can build. I mean, you get on there with a clean slate. You really can get this thing going because you can get that roster turnover for you guys and really build a solid foundation, man. I'm happy for what you got going on, Coach. I feel it's going to be a great thing for you at UMES right now.
I appreciate it. I think we got a lot of work to do. We kind of got the job late here, so we're doing our best to try to get involved with the best available talent that's out there right now. And at the same time, trying to, get a head start on next year's recruiting, and trying to take the guys that we do have here that are foundational guys and get them better. It's going to take some time, and I think that you look at the history of this program, it's a program that's never been to the NCAA tournament, and we're going to try to do some things differently. Not just in terms of how we do things recruiting-wise, in terms of being more visible in D.C., Baltimore, Philly, New York City. We're also going to try to put ourselves in position to take some chances on some guys that maybe previous staffs haven't tried to do that with. And I think that if we can do that in a high level, it's going to give us the best chance to try to put together a competitive roster that can, at some point, have a chance to compete for MEAC championships.
Well, Coach, everything I can do for your program, if you let me know, let your media guy know, reach out to me. I love to help you guys out. I love helping out at HBCU schools from Tennessee State University. I have a soft spot for you guys in the MEAC and Hampton, and of course my alma mater as well. So I want to help you guys as much as I can. Give you a platform to hear, so you can get players here in Atlanta to listen about your program. So they can say, hey, if Georgia's don't recruit me, I can go somewhere else too, and still have a great career. Give me a good degree as well.
Hey, JR, all we got to do is get you the right Hawk shirt, and then your life is going to be so much better, man. Once we do that, I'm going to get your address. I'm going to get the right Hawk shirt down there, and then you're going to be coming in. You're going to go from the Bossman to the Hawkman.
The Hawkman, I like that. The Hawk. I think I'm already the Hawkman. Theoretically, I'm already the Hawkman.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the right Hawks, I got you. The right Hawk, though, I got you. Hey, well, Coach, it's been great talking to you, man. I'm happy. You got me pumped up, Coach. I'm loving hearing what you got going on up there at UMES. I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys got going on. Like I said, let me know if I can help you out any way I can. I'll do it, Coach. Thank you so much for your time today, man.
Good enough. Appreciate you, Hawk fans. As I tell them, it's time to unite. Get ready.
Yep.
Talk to you soon, JR.
Yes, indeed, folks. It's Coach Crafton here on the Bossman Show.
Grab a hold of big breakfast flavor at Hardee's. Try 2 breakfast sliders for just $2.99. Get Applewood smoked bacon or freshly grilled sausage with fluffy eggs and golden melty cheese, all on a toasty little bun. Good morning, start at Hardee's. Available now for a limited time at participating restaurants. Tax not included.
All right, folks, back here on Gerald the Bossman Show, back with one of my buddies from Memphis, Tennessee, my man Philip Dean. Phil, how are things over the 901, man?
Everything's great, boss man. How we doing?
Hey, I'm recovering, man. I'm happy for you guys, but sad for us about the ping pong balls. I'm in recovery mode still.
Well, you got two top 10 picks, but it's still crazy to me how the how the NBA's franchises all depend on a couple of ping pong balls.
You're right. You're so correct. You just
A franchise's future on like if they getting the right superstar or how they build season tickets all depends on a couple of ping pong balls. It still fascinates me, and I think that like places like the NFL is watching it like maybe we should try that.
Yeah, it's a lot of excitement. Think about this, Phil. So many cities had draft lottery watch parties last week, and most of us left disappointed, as we did in Atlanta. But New Orleans got the number 1 pick, and you guys got the number 2 pick, and then the Knicks got 3, which made their fans go crazy. LA jumps up to 4, and I'm seeing these flattened odds really devalue the tanking that the Hawks did for sure. That I know they did. I'm privy to it, and I know Memphis was tanking a bit to try to keep the pick away from conveying to a degree, and it helped out the Grizz in a great way with the flattening out of these odds here. So it's crazy how the odds being flattened really changed the whole draft dynamic, and now tanking going forward probably.
Fans, they were looking at it, the lottery as just try and convey the pick. I mean, I can tell you nobody had in expectations of like, let's go get Ja Morant or we can totally get Zion. The basketball gods just treated Memphis very kindly because last year the Grizzlies were tanking. They were tanking to see what they can get, and they thought that they were going to get the first or second pick. It didn't work out, but they got Jaren Jackson. This year, I mean, they played hard throughout the season, and the basketball gods treated them well, and they got the number 2 pick. But if you had told me, like an hour before the draft lottery, that they were getting the number 2 pick, I would have told you, no way, there's no way. Just try and convey the pick, get this over with. But now everyone is excited. I mean, the chance of them, everyone here in Memphis is hoping that they look at Ja Morant. I mean, everyone is excited about this kid.
Yes, and I saw him play at Austin P against the Governors up there, man, and he took over that game. It was a close game. Austin P could have tied the game, but the shot was late, and it didn't count. But he willed that team to win at Austin P in a hostile environment up there in Clarksville. And I saw the guy. He's very explosive, and I think that dynamic with Jaren Jackson Jr. and Ja Morant gives the Grizzlies 2 young pieces to promote to the fans of Memphis to build this thing around and get the flags for them hopping again as it used to be.
Absolutely, and not only that, I mean, you're going to have coaches around the league. They're going to be wanting to take that job, seeing 2 guys like Ja Morant and Jaren Jackson going, I can develop those 2 guys. I want to develop something with them. I want to help build a franchise around them. And everyone's looking at it as well as like, I guess this might be the end of Mike Conley. It could be, but the Grizzlies are holding all the cards here because now they can listen to any offer they want about Conley. They don't have to be desperate about having Conley. And they can keep Conley around till the trade deadline. And Ja can learn from Mike Conley, much as like how Jaren spent time learning from Mark. I mean, it's a win-win right now for the Grizzlies with this pick.
Now, Phil, if you keep Mike Conley, would you start Ja Morant at the 2 with Mike Conley, or let them kind of do like the whole Collison and Holiday thing they were doing in New Orleans for a while there?
I would start Ja at the 2 right at the beginning, but like give him time to where you could see some games where Ja slowly takes the point guard position because Mike actually likes playing at the 2 right now in his style of play. He likes being able to just go out there and score. He wants to, and he was trying to get that from Javon Carter last year because he was approaching that to Bickerstaff of like, look, let him run some plays and help find me, get the ball so I can score. So I think that's what they're going to look at with Ja is like, look, we want you to be able to score starting off, but we need you to be a floor general in the future. But this kid is just supremely talented, and I think having a guy like Mike Conley will help him in the future, and especially, it will still help Jaren's development.
Yes, and most definitely, because I think having that young point guard with a young big, kind of like Penny Hardaway and Shaq to a degree was in Orlando when they kind of hit
Yes.
fire together. They came 1 year apart, but when they got together that third year, look how they went to the finals. They beat the Chicago Bulls, and they got swept in the next year, but they showed that potential, and I think that's what Memphis needs, a big buzz. I feel like this team was kind of going the wrong direction, but now you get to get the fans back in there and get that buzz. Got the new front office now in Memphis. Then they just need to hire the right coach. I think you guys are on your way out there.
If you get the right coach as well, I think, and if you keep Mike Conley, it will help. It will definitely help Jonas Valanciunas pick up his option and look at considering taking a long-term a new contract with the Grizzlies as well. If you had add a piece like that and the way Valanciunas was playing with the Grizzlies, I mean, it was the backcourt of Valanciunas and Jaren was extremely fun to watch, and they won a significant amount of games when they played together. So that's something as well you can look forward to as well if keeping Valanciunas aboard.
And Phil, looks like you guys only have that number 2 pick in the draft unless you guys buy a pick in the second round. So are you hearing a lot about workouts of guys that's not the top guys, kind of second round guys? Because I know you guys owe a second round pick next year as well. So how are you seeing the Grizzlies go about the draft, just knowing you got that number 2 pick right now?
I think that's the first thing they're looking at right now is just working on at the number 2 pick. Do I see them maybe trying to make a trade to get see if there's something in the second round? Possibly, but I think their focus right now is just this first round pick, and they're going to be getting a lot of calls about Mike Conley. I mean, teams from Miami and Utah, Dallas. Those are going to be teams that are going to be calling them around the trade deadline, just saying, "What do you want for us to have Mike Conley?" And that might include it, and they might be able to get another first round pick, and there might be someone you can get out of that as well. But I would say they need to look. If they're going to trade Mike Conley, see what first-round picks you can get in the future. Don't look right now. You already got the number 2 pick. See what you can get in 2020, 2021.
Exactly. And looking at the roster, I think DeLon Wright deserves a qualifying offer after that performance he put on at the end of the year for you guys. Are you hearing they're going to actually give him the QO or no, probably?
I'm sorry, you cut out there for a second.
DeLon Wright. I want to know about him. He played real well. I think he deserved the qualifying offer, at least, Phil, because so y'all can match him. If he gets something better out there on the market, you can match it. Because I think he'll be a good backup point guard to Ja Morant if you trade Mike Conley away this offseason or at the deadline as well.
Oh, absolutely. I think he is a perfect backup point guard for the Grizzlies, and he's a great insurance policy as well. I mean, look what happened when Mike Conley got hurt again. But like he came in and stepped up, and it was like the 3 of the last 4 games he got a triple double.
Yes.
So
he was on fire.
He was on fire. I mean, he's I think he will want to stay in Memphis, but he's going to get a lot of offers right now. So but I think it'd be great if he could stay in Memphis.
Yes, indeed. And I want to ask you about my 2 Hawk buddies, Justin Holiday and my man Dorsey. I don't think Dorsey's probably back, but maybe Jay Holiday, maybe?
Yeah, I think Dorsey has a better chance of staying in Memphis. I think that he really proved himself to be on a NBA roster right now. I think with a guy like Holiday, the Grizzlies are still looking for the right wing position, right wing guy right now. And I don't think Holiday was it. I mean, he started off slow, but he picked up progress as the season went on. But I don't see Holiday in a Grizzlies uniform next year. Dorsey, I think, will spend more time in the G League. I mean, it's going to be a full set of point guards for the Grizzlies. I mean, with Conley and then Morant, and then you got Javon Carter and DeLon Wright. So Dorsey's going to have to really prove himself to get that spot. But I think he has definitely earned a spot on the NBA roster.
Yeah, I hated we traded him to you guys for Shelvin Mack, only to cut my man Shelvin Mack. Thought my friend was coming back. He said, "Man, they cut me, bro." I'm like, "Why?" So I said to him, he's like, "I don't know." You ask them why, man. But like, I was like, it was like crazy. Like they traded two of my buddies for each other, but then they cut my man Shelvin Mack. But I hope he gets a job somewhere real soon. Now, Joakim Noah, I feel that's maybe a coach thing. I mean, he played well for you guys off the bench last year. He showed he had a little bit left in the tank. He could be a nice backup piece for a team. Do you think if JV comes back, would that be a good backup for JV and Jaren Jackson?
I think he would definitely want to do that. I think that's something Jaren will definitely fight for. He definitely loved learning from Joakim after the Gasol trade, and loved working with him. And I know they developed a great friendship. And I know that goes the same with Valanciunas. I think it will depend on the coach, and I think also there's going to be some veteran teams that have been there in the playoffs this season that will look for a backup center and see what kind of offers they can make to Joakim. It's just a matter of what does Joakim want. Does he want to help build a new roster that has a lot of potential in the next few years, or does he want to go to a playoff team and try and get a championship before he retires?
Yeah, and I'm not hearing much about you guys coaching searches, except for that guy from that JV knows. I haven't heard anybody, and I know they interviewed Igor Kokoskov, and I'm like, you don't want to do that, because I remember that other coach that you got, the guy from Phoenix, well, I forget the guy's name, Mark Ivaroni, or whatever his name was, who was bad. So
yeah.
Like, you don't want to go that route anymore. But it's like, I'm not really hearing much on the coach front for you guys, and I'm figuring out this is a pretty decent job now with the number 2 pick in the future. I don't really want a guy maybe to develop somebody, but like you gotta fill that role because you're about to have a draft. I need to have a coach and a system to draft towards. But I know you can go get my rant. But July's coming right up the corner here.
Right, and the thing with the head coach right now is I believe their mindset right now is we need to find a coach that can legit coach. We don't need to look for someone that they've looked in the past with Fizdale and Bickerstaff and like, I think he can coach and he can help develop talent, so let's give him an opportunity. They're trying to find someone that they know that can help coach this team immediately, can help them develop and help them get wins immediately and find a way to develop around Jaren and Ja Morant. But it's just they don't want to find someone where they have to decide, I think he can coach this team. They're trying to find someone that like we know in our hearts that this guy can be the coach and help them win.
I have 2 guys already in mind. I know that Mark Jackson can coach and Mike Woodson can coach, but those things have not came up. But those 2 guys can coach, in my opinion. And I know Thibodeau's getting paid good. He don't want to leave that money on the table from Minnesota. But there are some options out there. But I think Kokoskov was not even the coach in Phoenix. Joe Prunty was doing all the work, not Kokoskov.
Right.
So I'm like, why is he even getting an interview? That threw me off too. Or at Tor Messina with San Antonio. Or even Becky Hammond maybe. I mean, there are options, but y'all have only heard those 2 names. I know they want to be diligent in their work, but there's some names out there that you can interview that would be great for Memphis, and we have one already.
Right, and I think that I believe there's 6 names right now that they have interviewed. I think the last one was Nate Tibbetts from Portland, the assistant coach there. Jaron Collins, but like I think those are names as well. I mean, with Messina and Becky Hammond, I think those are 2 that I would definitely try and look for. But I bet they're waiting to see what happens with Popovich and see if they can get that job when he retires. But their mindset right now is let's find someone we know that can actually help develop talent and can help win.
Yeah, I hope that you all get somebody good real soon, and I really like what you guys have going on. And I'm going to ask you about this because Golden State going to the finals once more. They won by Kevin Durant, and did you think that they could reel off 5.5 games with just this great play after losing Durant when they had to play the bench all year long? When last night of the season they come to Memphis pretty much with their backup guys and got beat by you guys. It's like did you think this was possible with how the Warriors used their bench this year?
Oh, absolutely, and I think that's one of the biggest parts of their success is how deep their bench is, and I'm still baffled by people thinking that like, oh, well, since Kevin Durant's out, Portland's got a chance. Well, there's Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, Andre Iguodala. I mean, do I need to keep going? I mean, Steph Curry had to take his game back just to help bring up Kevin Durant. I mean, to make it his team. But like, everyone is just now forgetting, like, oh yeah, this is Steph Curry's team. It's Steph Curry's team from the beginning. He just had to take a step back for help let Durant build up. And like, Steph has just been phenomenal. I mean, when I knew that they were going to sweep Portland, Portland was just too exhausted from that 7-game series, and it was just, I mean, there's whoever the Warriors face in the finals, whether it be Toronto or Milwaukee, I mean, we're going to have to take them very seriously because I could totally see them sweeping either one of those teams.
Exactly, and I know Coach Bud personally from time in Atlanta. He's running the same plays he ran with the Hawks. I could tell the Warriors every play. Every play I could tell him every play he runs if I wanted to, because Quinn Cook and Damian Jones are my friends. If I wanted to, hey, this is what he's going to do. Yeah, but it's like Milwaukee plays 9 guys. Now, Brogdon's playing well. Ilyasova's playing decent. George Hill and the other cat they bring in off the bench, but Milwaukee cannot really they cannot really score the ball the way you think. They get in transition, but in a half-court setting, you just put either Klay Thompson or Durant, if he plays, on Giannis. You saw what Kawhi did to him, and they're the only guys to beat you. And I feel like you got to look at the Warriors bench. You don't need all you can play your benches for the Warriors is in spot minutes and milk your starters, because in the finals you have 2 days off in between games. But most of the time, unless it's the game between 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So you pretty much have 2 days off. So you'll be good and rested to go. And I feel like Milwaukee's not been there. They won't be ready for that intensity. And if you throw in DeMarcus Cousins into the mix if he gets back, Milwaukee's outmanned and will get beat and slaughtered, if you ask me.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think Toronto is the more deeper team, and they have the more deeper bench to go one-on-one with Golden State. I don't think they can beat them. I could see Toronto in that series winning 1 or 2 games out of that series. I mean, when you have a guy like Kawhi Leonard who has been insane throughout the playoffs, I mean, he's going to help you win. He's going to help you win games against the Warriors, but it's a matter of can they beat them 4 times. So with Milwaukee, I just see it's their starters that's helping them get through this series right now, and it's. I've noticed that too with Budenholzer. He's running all of his exact same plays that he did in Atlanta, and I noticed that in Game 1. And it's just, I mean, for them to have a guy like Antetokounmpo, I mean, he's helped them carry so far, but I don't think he's ready yet to be in the finals.
You got that right, because when I hear him say 5 flow and 5 down and 6, I'm like, this is the same stuff I heard in Atlanta. The same. This is the same stuff. Like, I know how to beat these plays because I've been in practice. I can beat every play you run, man. Especially after you cost us the draft pick last year. But I let that go because we got Trae Young, Phil. I let that go. See, we got Trae Young. but I know you won games on purpose last year to screw up our draft pick. I know that because everybody in the world knew it on our team. So it's like, yeah, Coach Bud know what's up, man. But yeah, like I said, man. That's why I can't watch FS1 or ESPN. These talking heads get on my nerves with all this propaganda they spew. They're like, you guys played basketball, you guys are athletes, and you're spewing media propaganda from a researcher. Are you kidding me? It blows my mind, Phil.
Oh, it's unbelievable. And how about Jaren Jackson and Trae Young being named the NBA All-Rookie Team, first team today?
I saw that, and also Kevin Huerter of the Hawks' second team. So I think, Phil, we got some good draft picks here. We got some good young
I,
guys.
I think we did. I think we did okay today. I think we did okay this year with draft picks. Maybe they can do it again next year.
Yes, I'm hoping, man. I'm hoping for a Cam Reddish now and this kid from Texas that's kind of raw. Because we need a young five. I'm not really high on Amari Spellman. He's my dude, but I don't know why we have him. We have John Collins. So Torian Prince, we can get rid of him too. And Ken Bazemore, bye-bye. But, Herder, Trey Young, Collins, Cam Reddish, and a young big. Yeah, 5 young guys, and hopefully we'll be good in, 2 years or so. So we can have fun again.
I think Cam Reddish would be a great fit for Atlanta.
Yes, indeed, because we need a small forward. And Torian Prince, bro, is not what it is. I mean, he's a nice young man, but I've seen your best. And hopefully we'll have Vince Carter for one more year. I'm praying for that. One more year, Vince Carter.
I think he needs one more year. I think he's got one more year left in the tank, and he needs to do a victory lap like Dirk did.
Yes, he does, and I look forward to the Memphis trip, and I have our guys Peter and Brevin or Fish out there serenading my man, and letting them know how the city of Memphis feels about him. Because I told people all the time, Memphis treated Vince Carter well. He had a great time there, and I'm glad we get to enjoy him in Atlanta at least for a year. Hopefully for one more. But he had a great time. He talks about Memphis all the time, how he loves you guys, and how it was a good, cool place to be and play ball.
Oh, absolutely. I miss watching Vince Carter play every night. He's one of the most. He's a pure gentleman, and absolutely honored to cover a guy like him.
Yes, indeed. Well, Phil, thank you for your time, my brother. I can talk there. Congrats on that master's degree, man, and we'll be talking to you down the road, brother. Get John Moran in the house, man, and get the face for him cooking again, brother.
All right, boss man. I'll talk to you soon. Appreciate it as always.
Anytime, Phil. Thank you, my brother.
Thank you, man.
All right, folks. It's Philip Dean, my man, here on the Bossman Show.
It's maybe the night that my dreams might let me know. All the stars are closer. All the stars are closer.
Tell me what you gonna do to me. Confrontation ain't nothing new to me. You could bring a bullet, bring a sword, bring a morgue, but you can't bring the truth to me.
Alexa, play Kendrick Lamar and SZA.
Okay. Maybe the night that my dreams might let me know. All the stars are closer.
With Amazon Music, a voice is all you need. Get tens of millions of songs. Download the Amazon Music app today.
All right, folks, back in the JR the Boss Man Show. As promised, we're joined by the Atlanta's Chris Kirshner. Talk about your Atlanta Hawks here on the Boss Man Show. Chris, man, I know you've been busy with the draft lottery, the combine, and everything. How's it been going for you the offseason so far, brother?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely busy, even though the Hawks were obviously eliminated from the playoffs. The one thing with the NBA is there really isn't an off season, because you always have something to do, whether it is the draft or the combine, like you said. So, yeah, I mean, it's definitely been pretty busy.
Yes, indeed. And were you at the draft lottery party, and how was the vibe there when the picks came out? There was the 8th and 10th pick, not what the fans and the team wanted, but you still had 2 first-round picks in the top 10.
Yeah, I mean, I talked to Hawks owner Tony Ressler, because I was actually in Chicago for the lottery itself. Actually in the room when the ping pong balls came out, but I talked to the Hawks owner Tony Ressler, and as he said, I mean, they have 2 top 10 picks, so it's hard for an organization to be really upset with that, because anytime you get 2 top 10 picks in any sports draft, you have to make them work, and that's what the Hawks have to do right now.
Exactly, and just coming off today, when you get the Hawks with a Trey Young, first-team All-NBA rookie, Kevin Herter, second-team All-NBA rookie, and you have 2 other picks to add to it, hopefully a Cam Reddish or that cat from Texas at the 10th pick, you're gonna have 5 young rookies who can develop together, and the Hawks will be very formidable down the road where you have 5 first-round top-flight draft picks. If you don't throw in number 6 with Amari Spellman there as well.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think right now, from what we saw from the Hawks this past season, I mean, obviously they win 29 games, and it's not really a number that should be celebrated all that much. But when you look at what this team accomplished, a lot of people thought heading into the season 20 games, if they won that, would be a lot. and I think they definitely exceeded expectations. And then you possibly add 2 more draft picks to the young foundation that they already have right now, and we're talking about a team that could definitely be one of the more exciting and one of the more successful teams in the NBA moving forward.
And I'm saying Travis Schlink is really doing a great job. He came from up through to Miami with Pat Riley. He was in Golden State all those years, and he learned out there. I mean, he is really building through the draft here, and he has 3 second-round picks, which I doubt he'll use all 3. Maybe you can package all 3 for a late first, maybe, or draft and stash some of those guys, or sell those picks off. So he has options with those second-round picks as well after you make those first 2 picks of 8 and 10 there.
Yeah, for sure. And I think the one thing about Travis is that, in the 2 years that he's been in Atlanta, he's hit on, pretty much every single pick that he's made. He got John Collins and Kevin Huerter both at 19 in their drafts. And both guys have turned into the steals of their drafts up until this point. So I think for the Hawks fans who are kind of disappointed with the way the lottery turned out, I mean, just look at what Schlink has done in these past 2 years. I think you have to have confidence in what he's already done. So I think the Hawks definitely have a lot of options of what they can do. As you mentioned, they do have 3 second-round picks in this draft. And Travis has said before that, they're probably not going to add 5 rookies to this team because, that would just be too much. So there's definitely possibilities of what they can do. As you said, I mean, they could package some picks and try to get back into the first round. They could package some picks and, try and acquire a young player. I mean, there are a lot of options when you have 5 picks in a draft.
And Chris, what I'll try to tell the listeners before you came on here is that Travis was a assistant coach first before he transitioned to the front office role. So Travis can see it from a coach and a player perspective. He played ball himself, and he can see it as a front office perspective. So he has the whole matrix of how to evaluate talent. He played, he coached, and he evaluates. So he has all 3. So he has a good trained eye for a player. And that's why fans should be more open and more optimistic rather than be down about not getting Zion.
Yeah, for sure. Throughout the season, Travis made his way to plenty of Hawks games, but the ones that he wasn't at, he was on the road scouting. He doesn't take days off. So, again, yes, there's some disappointment to be had. The team doesn't win the lottery, so obviously they can't get Zion Williamson. But, from what we've seen out of Travis so far, I think Hawks fans should be excited about the possibility of adding 2 top 10 picks when we've already seen that in Travis's 2 years, he's had success. So, to have this kind of draft where you have 5 picks and you can do a lot of damage, really solidify this young core. So I definitely think there should be more excitement than I've seen out of Hawks fans.
Yes, indeed. And also, Chris, having 8 and 10 now, to me, allows you to be more flexible for agency. What I mean by that is you can now trade for a bad contract to maybe waive like you did with Melo, or you can get an extra pick out of somebody for a bad contract. You don't have to sign anybody because you're going to have 5 rookies locked into rookie scale contracts. So that's on the books right there. So you have room on the books now to maybe take on a bad contract and get a sweetener or 2 to help you team down the road. Yeah,
for sure. And as we've seen out of the Hawks so far, they're not scared to take on those bad contracts. They did the Miles Plumlee deal when they sent off Dwight Howard, and obviously Plumlee, he's getting paid $12 million per year, but, they got rid of someone who they didn't want in the organization anymore in Dwight Howard. So, the Hawks have shown that they're not afraid to do those kinds of deals, and it really wouldn't surprise me if they do another one of those deals in the offseason. You look around the league, you have guys like Alan Crabb from the Brooklyn Nets. I think he's getting like $18 million a year. He's on an expiring contract. Perhaps the Nets want to accelerate their rebuilding process, and they package Crabb with their first-round pick. I think it's 16, if I'm correct. You also have the Clippers and Danilo Gallinari, who's making, I think, $21 million, and the Clippers want to make moves in free agency, get a guy like Kawhi Leonard possibly. So he can definitely be someone that the Hawks are interested in, and I think he would fit really well with the way he shoots the ball. So, yeah, there's definitely a lot of options the Hawks can go because they do have the salary cap flexibility. They have a maximum cap space of right around $40 million this offseason, and they have 5 draft picks. So, there are a lot of options the Hawks can take.
Yeah, and I would maybe package Bazemore and Plumlee, do like a bad-on-bad contract situation where you take on more money and get your extra pick, where you just have one player and get rid of 2 and add 1 and just take on an extra pick, so you can have the flexibility to have a young guy on the roster, like maybe a Deontay Davis, maybe, if he's trying to turn into something in summer league here coming up here real soon.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, there are options. I don't know if it's possible to package both Bazemore and Plumlee in the same deal, just because I don't know of many teams that would want both those bad contracts on the books, maybe one of them, and if anything, separate deals. I just don't think Plumlee has really much value at this point of his career. If anything, he's probably a third center on a team. Bazemore definitely has value. He definitely fell off after he sprained his ankle. So I think teams are probably going to want to see him perform at the level he was at the beginning of last season, just to see, like, okay, did he get his explosion back? Can he still be a useful piece? Before the injury happened to Bazemore, I definitely think that if he stayed healthy, the Hawks could have gotten quite a nice return, because Bazemore was playing some of the best basketball of his career. I know he's definitely one of those guys that Hawks fans love to ridicule because of his contract, but you look at those first couple of months of the season this past year, and you could definitely make the case that Bazemore was the team's best or second best player. So I think fans sometimes forget about that. But as far as his contract goes, I think what we're going to see, especially if he is on the trade market, which, I mean, he's been for several years now, but I think teams are probably going to want to see him return to his normal self, which it shouldn't be an issue. I mean, it was just a sprained ankle, and having the offseason to recover should definitely get his explosion back, and we should see the old Bazemore.
I'm thinking, Chris, that Dwayne Dedmon's probably going to get big money elsewhere, that he probably won't be back with the Hawks, and you'll probably see Alex Len starting again next year at the center.
Yeah, that's probably my thinking as of now. Dedmon definitely did really good things in his couple seasons in Atlanta. He's definitely turned into one of the better shooting bigs in all of the NBA. So I definitely think he's deserving of a big payday. I just don't think it makes much sense for the team to give him that payday to be Atlanta, just because, as you mentioned, Alex Len. I think Alex showed that, if Dedmon didn't return to the Hawks, that the Hawks do have a young center who's making $4.5 million, 25 years old. He can develop into something. I mean, he still hasn't reached his full potential yet. I mean, this was his first season this past year shooting threes. He shot 36% from the field on over 200 attempts across the year. So I definitely think that what we saw out of Alex kind of lessens the blow of losing someone like Dedmon. I mean, again, the Hawks could decide to re-sign him. I just don't think that's what's going to happen, just because I think Dedmon can probably get somewhere around $10 million to $12 million a year. And I just don't think the Hawks, where they're at right now, should pay that amount of money to a center.
And I'm assuming that Travis will probably give Justin Anderson a qualifying offer, see what he gets on the open market, and maybe bring him back at that $3.6 million figure of his qualifying offer.
You said Justin Anderson?
Yeah. Then he'll probably give him a qualifying offer and bring him back at that number, or maybe say, nah, we will see what you get, and if you come back, we'll give you the vet minimum maybe.
That's probably the option that they're likely going to go. I just don't think giving Anderson the qualifying offer makes a lot of sense, because if the Hawks do that, I believe his qualifying offer is $3.6 million. But if they give him if they give him the qualifying offer, he's then a $7.5 million cap hit. And for a guy who didn't really play all that much throughout the season, and Anderson was, an end of the bench guy, someone who got in the garbage time. So I just don't think paying someone $3.6 million to be an end of bench guy really makes a bunch of sense, even though he was definitely someone that was beneficial in the locker room. Both Trae Young and Kevin Huerter credited Anderson to being that mentor that they really went to throughout the season. But again, I don't know how much that really matters at the end of the day if his on-court production doesn't match up with the kind of salary that he would get if he did receive that qualifying offer. So I think if Anderson did return to the Hawks, he would probably have to do so through free agency. I mean, he is a restricted free agent, so I think the Hawks will probably, see what he can get on the open market and then decide at that point, okay, like we can afford him to and bring him back.
Chris, I got a couple more for you, Chris. Torian Prince, DeAndre Bembry, I think they're competing for a spot on the roster. I don't think you can keep both of them at this point with how the draft is falling right now, 8 and 10. You can't really keep both. So I'm thinking that it's coming to a point maybe next year that you got to decide whether you're going to keep DeAndre Bembry or Torian Prince as your energy guy off the bench at the 3.
Yeah, I think what we're going to see this summer is going to tell us a lot about how the Hawks view both of these guys, because both Bembry and Prince are both eligible for rookie extensions. Now, I don't know if either of them are going to receive a rookie extension, just because I think both guys have shown that they're useful in some situations, but for where the Hawks are at right now in the rebuilding process and where they want to be, I don't know necessarily if either of them fit perfectly with the trajectory of the future. I think what we've seen out of both Bembry, very good defender, can't really shoot that well. If he wants to have a future on this team, we've seen Lloyd Pierce and Travis Schlenk really prioritize shooting over anything, and Bembry just isn't a really good shooter right now. So, that definitely might hinder his future with the Hawks. As far as Prince goes, definitely one of the more polarizing players on the roster. Quietly, he actually had the best numbers of his career this past season. But, the Hawks, when they drafted him, really prioritized him for not only his shooting, but they thought he could be a really high-level defender. And we just didn't see that this past year. When you look at all the metrics, Prince was one of the worst defenders on the team. So I think what we're going to see this summer is that if they don't give Prince or Bembry a rookie extension, or even do any sort of negotiations with either, that heading into next season, I think both those guys are going to be on different teams.
Yes, indeed. And last one I got for you, Vince Carter, back or not with the Hawks, probably, in your opinion?
I think it's going to depend on roster space. If the Hawks do get at least 3 rookies in this draft and have them, be on the Hawks roster heading into next season, that would give the Hawks 12 guaranteed deals. And depending on what the team does in free agency, Vince is definitely someone that is useful to have around, especially, to mentor the young guys, which he did really, really well this past season. But again, if we're talking about on the court performance, Vince offers very little at this point of his career. Definitely a really good 3-point shooter. But again, he's very limited in what he can do because of his age. So I think if the Hawks do have an open roster spot toward the end of the summer, which is when the Hawks signed him last year, I definitely think he'd return. But again, I think they're going to prioritize other guys before they actually cycle back with Vince. I really would be shocked if come July 1st, which is when free agency begins, that the Hawks announce a deal for him at that time.
Got you. Well, Chris Kirshner, you did it again, brother. You broke it down for the Hawks, for our fans. So thank you, my brother. And we'll hope to talk to you again down the road, man, in July, August maybe, buddy.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
All right, folks. It's Chris Kirshner of the Athletic on the Bossman Show, covering your Atlanta Hawks.
How do you feel about your office? Is it just a space for your company, or is it a space to help you grow your company? From new HQs to satellite offices, with WeWork, you can find a space that works for you. Visit we.co/Space Matters to learn more.